Lilith is a figure rooted in mythology, religion, and folklore, whose origins trace back to ancient Mesopotamian cultures. Over time, she has evolved from a feared demon to a symbol of female independence and empowerment. The complexity of Lilith's character and her multifaceted role in various traditions make her an intriguing subject of study, both in ancient texts and in modern interpretations. Origins in Mesopotamian mythology. The earliest references to Lilith can be found in the mythology of ancient Mesopotamia, particularly within the Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian cultures. The figure of Lilith is associated with the Lili-Tu, a class of female demons or spirits that were believed to roam at night, seducing men and causing harm to pregnant women and infants. These demons were often depicted as winged and bird-like, embodying the dangerous aspects of the night and the unknown. One of the earliest mentions of Lilith by name is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where she is described as a demon who resides in a sacred tree. In this context, Lilith is associated with the natural world and the fears that it can evoke. The tree, often seen as a symbol of life and fertility, is inhabited by a demon that embodies the darker side of these forces, linking Lilith to themes of death and destruction. Lilith in Jewish tradition. Lilith's role in Jewish mythology is perhaps her most famous incarnation, and it is here that she begins to take on the characteristics that have defined her in later cultural narratives. In Jewish folklore, particularly in the medieval period, Lilith is often identified as Adam's first wife, preceding Eve. This story is not found in the canonical texts of the Hebrew Bible but emerges in later Jewish mystical and folkloric traditions, such as the Alphabet of Ben Sira, a satirical text from the early medieval period. According to this tradition, Lilith was created from the same earth as Adam, making her his equal. However, Lilith refused to submit to Adam's authority, especially in matters of sexual relations. When Adam tried to force her into a submissive role, Lilith uttered the sacred name of God and fled from the Garden of Eden. After her departure, she was said to become a demon who would prey on newborn children and seduce men in their sleep, leading to the belief that she was responsible for nocturnal emissions and infant mortality. This narrative casts Lilith as a figure of rebellion and defiance, particularly against patriarchal authority. Her refusal to be subservient to Adam can be seen as a symbol of female autonomy and resistance to male dominance. However, her subsequent demonization also reflects the fears and anxieties of a society that sought to control and limit female sexuality and independence. Lilith in Christian and Islamic traditions. While Lilith's presence is less prominent in Christian and Islamic traditions, she is not entirely absent. In Christian medieval texts, Lilith is often conflated with other female demons or with the serpent in the Garden of Eden. This association further demonizes her, linking her to sin and the fall of humanity. In some interpretations, Lilith is considered a precursor to or a representation of Satan, embodying temptation and the dangers of unchecked female power. In Islamic tradition, Lilith is not explicitly mentioned in the Quran or Hadith, but her story has influenced some folk beliefs. In certain interpretations, she is seen as a jinni, a supernatural being that can be either benevolent or malevolent. Like in Jewish tradition, Lilith in Islamic folklore is often associated with harming infants and seducing men, further reinforcing her role as a symbol of danger and temptation. Lilith as a feminist icon. In the modern era, Lilith has undergone a significant transformation, particularly within feminist discourse. Rather than being viewed solely as a demon or a malevolent spirit, Lilith has been reinterpreted as a symbol of female empowerment, autonomy, and resistance to patriarchal structures. This shift in perception began in the 20th century, as feminist scholars and writers sought to reclaim Lilith's story and highlight her role as a figure who defied male control. One of the key aspects of this reinterpretation is the emphasis on Lilith's refusal to be subjugated by Adam. Her decision to leave the Garden of Eden, rather than submit to a life of inequality, has been celebrated as an act of empowerment. In this context, Lilith represents the struggle for gender equality and the right of women to define their own identities and destinies. This reimagining of Lilith can be seen in various works of literature, art, and music. For example, the Lilith Fair, a music festival founded in the 1990s by musician Sarah McLachlan, was named in honor of Lilith and celebrated female artists and performers. The festival was a direct response to the male-dominated music industry and sought to create a space where women could showcase their talents and be celebrated for their contributions to the arts. Similarly, feminist writers have explored Lilith's story in poetry and fiction, often portraying her as a heroine who challenges the status quo. This version of Lilith is not defined by her demonic attributes but by her courage and determination to assert her independence, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. Lilith in popular culture. Lilith's influence extends beyond feminist discourse and into popular culture, where she has become a recurring figure in literature, television, film, and even video games. In these mediums, Lilith is often portrayed as a complex character who embodies both light and darkness, reflecting her dual nature as both a rebel and a demon. In literature, Lilith appears in works such as Lilith by George MacDonald, a 19th-century fantasy novel that explores themes of redemption and the nature of evil. In this novel, Lilith is portrayed as a powerful and tragic figure who must come to terms with her past actions and seek redemption. The novel presents Lilith as a multifaceted character, capable of both great harm and great transformation. In television and film, Lilith often appears as a supernatural being with ties to the occult. For example, in the television series Supernatural, Lilith is depicted as a powerful demon who serves as an antagonist to the show's protagonists. Similarly, in the film The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Lilith is referenced as an ancestor of the White Witch, further cementing her association with darkness and evil. In video games, Lilith is often portrayed as a powerful and dangerous character, embodying the themes of rebellion and defiance that have long been associated with her. For example, in the game Borderlands, Lilith is a playable character with supernatural abilities, while in Diablo, Lilith is a demon queen who plays a central role in the game's storyline. Lilith is a figure whose significance has evolved over millennia, from her origins as a feared demon in ancient Mesopotamian mythology to her modern role as a symbol of female empowerment. Her story reflects the changing attitudes towards women, power, and autonomy, as well as the ways in which cultural narratives are reshaped to reflect contemporary values and concerns. In her many incarnations, Lilith challenges the boundaries between good and evil, light and darkness, and submission and rebellion. She remains a powerful and enduring symbol, one that continues to captivate the imagination and inspire new interpretations across different cultures and mediums. Whether as a demon, a goddess, or a feminist icon, Lilith's legacy endures, reminding us of the complex and often contradictory nature of human experience.